Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I am Uzma Jafri. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Thursday, the 8th of December. 3 terrorists killed in security operation in India's Kashmir. All passengers killed on board PK-661 crash. Pakistan authorities order probe. And visitors enjoy tribal cultural fiesta in eastern India. And now for all the details. 3 Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists were killed in an encounter that broke out in Anantnag district of India's Jammu and Kashmir province on Thursday.
The encounter broke out between security forces and militants based on tip-off about the presence of militants in Arwani area of Anantnag district. A joint search operation was launched by army and police on Wednesday evening. As the security forces resumed the search operation on Thursday, the militants opened fire, triggering an exchange of fire. The area has been cordoned off and heavy firing between the two sides was underway. Attacks and infiltration bids by terrorists from across the border have been in spike for the past few weeks. In September, 19 Indian soldiers were killed when terrorists, allegedly from Pakistan, attacked an army base in Uri sector of the province.
Staying on to news from India, thick fog engulfed India's national capital New Delhi on Thursday morning. It led to cancellation of 2 train services, while about 90 others were running behind schedule due to poor visibility. Repeated rescheduling of trains forced some commuters to spend the night at railway stations and shrill cold. Road transportation also took a hit in neighbouring cities as well. Flight operations, however, remained unaffected in the morning.
ਅਸੀਂ ਅਟਾਰੀ ਤੋਂ ਇਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਬੁਰਾ ਹਾਲ ਆ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਕਦਮ ਤੱਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿਸ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਕੀ ਹਾਲ ਮੰਨਣਾ ਅਗਲੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਡਰ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਡੀ ਚਲਾ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਮੋਗੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਇਸ ਟਾਈਮ
Meanwhile, Ashton Carter reached India's national capital New Delhi on Thursday in his last overseas visit as US Defense Secretary. He is set to oversee the progress of defense ties between the two nations.
US Defense Secretary Ashton Carter reached India on Thursday. His visit to India is aimed at reviewing the progress achieved between the two countries over the last 3 years before the change of administration in the US. Indian Defense Minister Manohar Parrikar and Carter will review the course of various initiatives taken to deepen high technology cooperation. Carter is slated to travel to Japan, Bahrain, Israel, Italy and the UK. This is for the first time that an outgoing American Defense Secretary has included India in his itinerary for the final overseas trip.
Moving on to news from Pakistan. There were no survivors after a plane carrying 47 passengers crashed into a mountain in northern Pakistan on Wednesday. Pakistan International Airlines blamed engine failure for the horrific plane crash, and the country's top civil aviation body has launched a probe into the tragic accident.
Villagers and army personnel were still gathered on Thursday morning at the site of Pakistan's deadliest plane crash in 4 years as officials sought to pinpoint the cause of the disaster. Flight PK-661 smashed into the side of a mountain near the town of Havelia in Khyber-Pakhtunkhwa province late on Wednesday. Local villagers flocked to the scene to help with rescue and recovery work after the crash, some praising the pilot for missing nearby villages. Among them was a famed rock star turned Muslim evangelist, 2 infants and 3 foreigners. The foreigners included 2 Austrians and a Chinese man the airline said.
और इसमें कोई सर्वाइवर नहीं है, कोई बचा नहीं है। सारे मुसाफिर भी और क्रू भी जो हैं वो जान बहक हो चुके हैं।
The military said 40 bodies had been recovered and rescue efforts involved about 500 soldiers, doctors and paramedics. The bodies were shifted to the Ayub Medical Center in nearby Abbottabad, about 12 miles away.
तकरीबन 4 बजे के करीब या 4:15 के करीब कंट्रोल टावर में इत्तला आई कि एक जहाज़ का इंजन जो है वो डेड हो गया है, फेल हो गया है। चंद लम्हों के बाद उसी जहाज़ से इत्तला आई कि वो मेडे की कॉल, जिसको हम लोग कहते हैं कि मेडे की कॉल उसने दी, और बस देखते देखते ही वो रेडार से गायब हो गया। और उसके बाद कोई 4:15 या 4:20 पर हमें ये इत्तला मिली कि कोई साइटिंग हुई है, धुआं नज़र आया है पहाड़ में।
Sehgal said a full investigation of the crash involving international agencies would be conducted. The authorities have said that DNA testing will be used to identify the charred victims of the plane crash.
More news from Pakistan. In a country where cab drivers are mostly male, the profession is not seen to be viable for women who account for only 22% of the workforce. However, women in Pakistan are now joining taxi services as drivers in the country. A report.
A 46-year-old widow, Asiya Abdul Aziz in Pakistan's Karachi city, who has 2 grown-up daughters, has now joined a taxi service that previously only hired male drivers. While the field is dominated by male counterparts, a multinational transportation network company launched a new fleet of 7 taxi drivers in Karachi, Islamabad and Lahore on December 7. The aim is to change that mentality and give women an additional source of income. The women taxi drivers are required to have their own car, but are given flexible working hours.
एक बाइज़्ज़त पेशा है और आपकी अपनी गाड़ी है तो आप इसको ज्वाइन कर लें, और थोड़ा जो टाइम है आपका कि कभी आप बच्चे बाहर होते हैं, आप इस चीज़ को जो है वो एक तरह से एक इनकम भी है, अर्निंग भी है, और दूसरा जो है बाइज़्ज़त तरीका है अर्निंग का मेरी नज़र में।
While the fleet so far is small, the company asserts dozens of applicants are on waiting list to be trained on service that operates on app-based booking.
51% of the population in Pakistan comprises of females. We are a big believer in terms of women empowerment, and we want to give women the same opportunities and the same chance that men have of leveraging our platform to generate, a healthy income. And I think it's a great opportunity for females across Pakistan.
Kareem started operating in the Pakistani cities of Karachi and Lahore in October 2015 and later began service in capital Islamabad.
Moving on, Kashmir Valley in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province gets covered in a blanket of snow during the winter season. Tourists throng the region in large numbers during this time to enjoy its winter beauty.
A frozen waterfall in Rajouri district of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province is attracting attention of many people. The picturesque waterfall, located in the higher region of Pir Panjal mountain range, has become a popular spot for people. With icicles formed around its edge and water gushing beneath a frozen surface, the waterfall is a sight to behold. Jammu and Kashmir experiences harsh winters with temperatures usually dipping below the freezing point. The state has for long been a major tourist destination visited by people in winter to experience snowfall. Gulmarg is a well-known tourist destination for winter activities such as snowboarding, sledge rides, gondola, cable car and snow skiing.
A festival to promote the culture and tradition of the northeastern region of India was recently held in eastern Ranchi. Dance performances, handicraft and food stalls were the main attraction of the event.
The Octave Festival of the Northeast was introduced by the government to provide a platform to the artists and artisans of the Northeast region to project their rich cultural heritage. It was held in India's eastern Ranchi city. Folk music, dance, theatre, mime, puppetry and classical dance of northeastern provinces were presented in the festival. An exhibition on cultural heritage of the Northeast was also organized.
This festival is organized for that promote the Northeast culture in all over India, because Northeast is a very colorful, cultural state of India. Different tribe is living in Northeast. This festival motto is the promote the Northeast culture.
A road show was also held as part of the festival, during which artists showcased their traditional dances and urged the people to join them. Large number of people came to enjoy the cultural event.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. 3 terrorists killed in security operation in India's Kashmir. All passengers killed on board PK661 crash. Pakistan authorities order probe. And visitors enjoy tribal cultural fiesta in eastern India. Now our viewers can watch the show on southasianewsline.com. You can also visit us on facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.